Hi everyone, welcome back to Miss Krumholtz's art class. So once you've drawn in your Zentangles in pencil, you can go ahead and you can ink it. Now you can use a pen, you can use a Sharpie, or my favorite, so you can use a thick Sharpie, or sometimes they make the double-sided thin and thick Sharpies. So you can use the thin Sharpies, the fine tip for areas that are really small, and then you can use the thicker tip for areas that are a little darker or that are a little larger. And you can go in, and as you can see, I started to darken some areas, and I'm going to add some polka dots on my fins of my fish. So once you have everything in pencil, you can go in and just trace over. And what I did is I traced over everything. I'm adding on to it even a little bit more. And then I took an eraser and I erased out the pencil marks where I could still see them. I still have a few up here that I have to work on. So I wanted to add a little polka dots in there. And then I'm also going to darken parts of the wing. So adding that contrast, those dark areas, is another option, as well as the Zentangles. Sort of makes the creature come alive. And I'm just picking out certain areas that I want to darken. You're going to stay in the lines if you do add that contrast. Make sure you work carefully. So this step involves going back in, adding ink, going over the pencil lines with the Zentangles, adding contrast, and I'm going to leave colored pencil as optional. I'm going to show you just a section of color in the last step, or a minimal color, I should say, and some options that you do have. I always like to add a little bit of color in here just because it just adds another element. You can use a colored pencil, and like I said, you don't have to. You can leave it black and white if you so choose. That is up to you. I have, Crayola pencils, and I have like a Prisma pencil, which is a little bit more professional. So I'm just sort of blocking in these areas that I originally said I wanted to. You can do it however much or however little you like. Okay, so once I think I have a pretty good idea, when you do block in areas, make sure you color in all the sections. Okay, so it's looking like I'm just about done with my creature. I added Zentangles in here, inside the body. I made these bubbles and I added Zentangles inside the bubbles, inside the fins. So you can do it however much or however little you like. When you're ready for those colored pencils, I'm going to take out. So I have, these are called Fantasia pencils. They're really good colored pencils. I'm going to pick minimal coloring. I'm going to get a blue. And I'm going to show you how to make a gradient. So I'm just going to add a little bit of blue in the fins. In the scales, rather, sorry. And I'm gonna press really hard in one section. And then I'm gradually gonna go a little bit lighter and decrease my pressure. We're gonna talk about this in our next unit, which would be shading. So if you look, it sort of goes dark and then lighter. And then I'm gonna add purple on top of that to make it even darker. And I'm gonna press pretty hard. And then I'm gonna also just decrease my pressure as I move outward. So you can add these areas of gradient. I'm gonna add some a little bit along the wing here. Underneath the wing, I should say. You can add it wherever, I like to add it wherever I think there'd be a shadow. So wherever something's like overlapping something else. So I'm going to decrease my pressure. And then I'm gonna, again, go back in with that purple. And this is just a really nice little effect. So we're gonna talk more about this for our next unit, but adding color is a really nice little effect to that. So if you would like, colored pencil is optional. Good luck, guys.